Good afternoon. I'm with Brad Rourke, CEO of Scottie Resources. Scottie has been busy to start the new year here in January. We've got two sets of high-grade results from the Blueberry contact zone. It seems this Fifi vein zone has some really high grades. 2 weeks ago, the company put out a hole that was 59.2 grams per ton over 2.5 meters at Fifi. And then there was another hole that was 35 grams per ton over 2 meters. And then today, we've got another high grade intercept, 7 grams per ton over 14 meters at Fifi. And that includes 2 meters of almost 50 grams per ton. And it looks like that really high grade portion at Fifi is actually expanding the zone at depth. So I wanted to talk to Brad and get the full context of the results. Brad, how are you doing today?
Well, thanks, Robert. Yeah, appreciate your time. Yeah, nice. Always nice when you put out news. At least, you get a bunch of phone calls for the first of the year. That's good. Yeah.
And it's good news. I mean, when a shareholder sees 7 grams over 14 meters and 14.6 grams over 4 meters at Blueberry, I think that's something good to wake up to. And it seems like you guys are definitely uh, the trend is up in terms of the results, and this is a impressive high grade gold deposit that's taking shape at Blueberry. So I guess my question is, did the 2024 program meet your expectations, or are the results way above your expectations?
Well, I think the results are just in line with what we've consistently had over the years. In fact, it might even be slightly less, but that's fine. We don't need better results than we've had in previous years. Um, I'm just going to take a stab. I think, at Blueberry, for sure, over 10% of every hole is over 100 gram meters. So we've had a lot of success there at Blueberry. So, and a lot of our drilling this year was at Scottie gold mines because our goal is to put out an MRE. So it's the lowest amount of meters we've done in Blueberry in 3-4 years. And because we were saving money, we would have loved to have banged in another 20,000 meters at Blueberry. And we have the targeting, and when the market allows us to do that, we'll do it. So it's in line. I think we're happy. We never needed better results, but I think they're very consistent. And to the viewers and for yourself, yeah, they're great results, but they're working with other ones. We're just connecting shapes because we are going for this MRE, the resource modeler, it's our teams to try and make sure, hey, this connects up with this and this, because it's outside of our hands. So I get excited about that because they're very respectable. They're connecting shapes. We're 3-4 weeks away from that MRE, and so I'm holding my breath on that one because I don't have influence on that. But yeah, it's going to be exciting, and it's very soon coming.
So, it'd be interesting to see this in 3D. You said, shapes. It'd be interesting to see these shapes in 3D, because I think some people may look at like 50 grams over 2 meters or whatever, which you got a lot of hits like that, and say, okay, well, how does that make a mine? And so seeing this in 3D and really seeing the gold ore body take shape, I think would be really valuable. Is that something that you guys are planning?
Sure. Well, we have it 3D and within our micromine system. We do lots of meetings, and that's just a technical, longer, drawn out process of which I can't run the micromine. Thomas does that. Maybe for your viewers, at the year end, we should just do a little 20-minute with Thomas, and he could actually show you, because it's it it's just connecting shapes. And so you'll see that those holes are not, if you look at our long section, we try and post as much technical data as possible if you look at our news releases. But you look at that long section, it looks like all those holes are close together. But when you look at in a 3D and it opens it up, it spaces those holes out. We're trying to fill in gaps so it does be part of that MRE. So there's no closology with any of those holes, but it's a fun exercise to do the 3D model. For the end of for 2025, we will have something for the website where we have an old one there from in around Scottie. And so we're just got to get these news releases out so we can start marketing what 2025 looks like. I imagine we'll get a mock-up on the website where you can kind of look at Blueberry from a 3D point of view. But we're available. Make a call into us, and we'd love to get on and show you Zoom. Take 10, 15 minutes, and maybe you'd like to do a session with Thomas. And
Yes. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
waving
I'd love to.
my arms all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be great. So all the results are out now. You said the results met your expectations for the 2024 drill program. So now what's next? I know we got a resource estimate coming up here. What's the timing of that? And what else is going on?
Well, our goal is to have an MRE out for PDAC. But it's kind of out of my hands. But I don't see anything saying that we're not going to be able to achieve that. The study I'm most excited for is about 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, we started conducting a ore sorting study. So we took a big composite sample from Blueberry, Scottie. Was sent down to Saskatchewan, and now those rocks are in Germany, I guess. And apparently, because our mineralogy and the density of our rock, like the atomic weights, and it gets beyond my real understanding, but we're the perfect candidate for upgrading our ore. So that's the study that we're really excited for. And, we kind of copied what Osisko was doing. And so we're going to have those results out. And, because we're only 40 kilometers away from the Stewart bulk terminals, that's underutilized. I think we've just missed that whole boat, is that our access to tidewater with that ore. And if I can upgrade that ore, so we've been doing all those types of studies and have people working on that. And it's quite encouraging. So I think for 2025, yeah, we'll have the resource, but maybe we switch gears, start showing economics on what that resource is. And then understanding we could continue adding ounces at Blueberry and Scottie, and then the whole vast project. It's very little drilling that this initial resource is going to come out with. If you're going to compare us to other companies, very little drilling. So I think that should be exciting from an investor point of view. Excites me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is exciting because I mean, well, first of all, you have a small mine permit, so you could go back into operation if you really wanted to, if you wanted to pull the trigger on that. But, you know, the bigger picture is that you're moving ahead to build a mine here. It's not just a junior that drills holes to raise money and continue to live a lifestyle. I mean, you're really putting your money where your mouth is, and you're building a mine here. So uh, you said, okay, so we have the resource estimate by PDAC, which I believe is the first week of March. So that's a near-term catalyst. And then obviously planning for the 2025 program. And you did mention a PEA. So what are your thoughts around the timing of that?
Well, I think I could have that out by the time the drills start turning for the PEA if we go on the DSO model. So Kevin Jennings, no secret, strategic advisor at the company. He's talked. It's the amazing amount of meetings that he set up, whether we're talking to metals traders or smelters, and basically that PEA. If you take we just mine the rocks, make a gravel, and we can send it off to China. Now in China, they've overbuilt smelters, and so our gold is a candidate that would fit those smelters. And if we can upgrade our ores and the different payable scales, right? Now, bulk tonnage at Blueberry and if we can double that grade by ore sorting through this process, of which we're 3-4 weeks away from that study as well. Is it possible that we're shipping 7-gram material from Blueberry? And then with Scottie, we believe we can upgrade that ore, knock on wood. And we're going to see how smart we are here in the very near future, over 15 grams. If you can get 15-gram material to China, you don't pay a VAT tax. It is literally the economics behind it is shocking. And again, that's what Kevin brings to the table. And it's not a concept for him. He's done it 100 times over with many major companies. So that's what I think people can, that's how we're going to differentiate ourselves. Hopefully that resource is 1,000,000 ounces. Great. We did it for very, very cheap because of that permit. You know, that timeline to turn rocks into dollar bills is going to be way quicker than anybody could imagine. I'm not going to say a number right now, but I just know that nobody else would be able to do it quicker. You know, because of that permit, because of the road, brownfield site, and a willing community. And then again, at the same time, you have Ascot kind of cleaning up their situation right now. Exciting. Lots going on in the Golden Triangle, as you said. You know, we don't talk enough about Skeena, right? They got $1 billion financing, and that, you know, that's been a big win for a lot of investors. And
Skeena has been one of the great stories in the gold juniors in the last couple of years. I mean, the last even 5, 6 years, it's a fantastic story. I mean, I remember when Skeena was 30 cents a share. I think it was in 2018 or so. It's 13, 14 bucks a share now. That's not something that one sees every day in the junior mining sector, especially during some of these challenging years like we've had in 2022. Um, Brad, it's interesting because I know you do a lot of marketing, you talk with investors, you're very hands-on, and you're always available to investors. So when you talk to like somebody who's not a specialist in the mining industry, how do you explain to them the company's plans? Like basically, hey, we're going to put out a resource that's going to tell you how many gold ounces we have in the ground, and then we're going to find a way to get this gold to the port that's nearby our project at Stewart, and we're going to sell it to China. So I mean, is it that simple?
well, it is that simple. But does that resonate now? Up until just of recent, we haven't been out there really hitting the retail market. It's easy to explain that to somebody in the business, right? Because they've done it, they've seen it, they go, wow. But how do we articulate it to the retail market is something that I'm really putting a lot of thought to now. Remember, I need that MRE before I can start saying numbers. Otherwise, it's just an arm wave. So that's coming quick. I think we're going to be very aggressive in the near future as we get these numbers out. And all I can do is go, maybe I start comparing myself to other companies, which I don't like to do because nothing's apples to apples ever. But yeah, there's a business case there. But if I can come up with a NAV and then I can go, look, I am a small fraction of a proper NAV, I think that is going to force the market to re-rate us because we believe, $50 million market cap's quite ridiculous for what we've done. We have no debt. I don't need to raise money. It's a very good question, Robert, because I'm getting my butt kicked by a lot of other companies. So I'm not a good marketer, or that's how I see it. But I think that technical work and the people we have behind us should speak for itself. And yeah, we're just going to get out there and tell it. But I need those numbers before I start arm waving. So we'll see here in the next couple months.
Well, I picked Scottie in my year-end tax loss list as one of 6 companies for 2025, and that list can be hit and miss. Sometimes I have 3 big winners and 3 big losers. It's hard to say, but at the very least, with the cleaned up share structure, you guys have cash. You don't need to grovel to the market to raise cash right this second. And you have a pretty clear plan. That's something a lot of juniors can't really say, that they have such a clear plan as you do. So I think there's a lot to be said for that, and I think that you will be able to get the story out to a wider audience in 2025 because the story makes a lot of sense. By the way, what's the gold price in Canada right now? Is it 4,000 an ounce?
It's getting pretty darn close. I always just think of it as 3,800, and I know I'm being conservative. Yeah, but yeah,
So
and
it's
it's
like
going to be over
38 or
4,000 Canadian.
yeah, so from my perspective, I hear you say at Scottie, you could do 15 grams per ton
Concentrate.
concentrate. Yeah, so from Scottie, so
We
15
hope.
grams per ton. Okay,
Yeah,
it's a
just
theoretical conversation.
correct, please.
It's a forward-looking statement. Uh, so 15 grams per ton, that's about a half ounce. and we say 3,800. So that's 1,900 CAD that you're getting per ton to concentrate and then to port, where you can probably, I don't know, get paid 90 cents or 95 cents on the dollar. I'm not exactly sure what the numbers are, but still very profitable, because I'm pretty sure it doesn't cost 1,900 CAD per ton to mine it. It's probably more like 100 or maybe 200 tops.
Not
So
too long, but
yeah,
yeah.
I think that's a pretty profitable proposition. I think that's an easy story to explain. Now, obviously, there's capex, there's company overhead, blah blah blah. Of course, you have to factor that into your model, but uh, still, that's a pretty profitable proposition.
Guess how much it costs to ship a ton of ore to China from the port of Stewart?
I don't know.
$31 US. Right. It's
31,
very,
okay.
it probably costs us more to drive 40 kilometers down the road than it does to get to a smelter in China. So we've done all those numbers. I like how you're thinking, right? What does it cost to contract mine? Because we're on surface, we're being very conservative. If I say $150, I'm very comfortable. I'll stop you if I go, oh, don't go too outside the lines. But I'm saying, I'm very conservative, $150 to for contract mining and such. 30 bucks. So you're right. Look at the margins. And again, if I can get to 15 grams plus, which we think we can, because remember, Scottie was producing at a half ounce per ton. That's what it was producing at, right? So if I can 2.1, So I think we're very conservative. We get 85 to 90% of the payables with no VAT tax in China. And it only costs 30 bucks a ton to ship. So those are kind of the numbers that, again, we should be able to publish by the summertime, I think. And then the big question is, do I go keep exploring for ore, or do I just carpet bomb Blueberry and go P&P, proven and probable at that top open pit part? So it's just instant.
You
And
do
then,
all of the above. You do
well,
all the,
you can only do what the market allows you to do.
I know, I'm joking.
Like
I'm
10,000
joking.
meters it was a shame, but we say because we wanted to
We
save the
want a
money.
profitable mining operation and wildcat holes to make new discoveries. We want it all, Brad.
Oh, well, we found a new discovery with Wolf Zone. Nobody seemed to care. But for us, we didn't know that was there at all. And the first hit of 7 grams over 6 or something. And then we're just at the intrusion at Scottie. Just look at it. Like, I would love to do 200,000 meters a year across the whole thing. It would be so much fun. But anyways, I wouldn't be able to keep up with the interviews.
All right, Brad. I think that's a good place to leave it today. MRE for Scottie Resources by PDAC.
Yeah, March 1st. Let's hope so. Yeah, I
Cheers.
have no doubt, but who knows?
Million ounces of gold.
That's what I think.
All right.
Yeah,
All right, Brad. Thank you so much for your time.
wonderful. Thank you, Robert.